Your place is in the trash, my daughter said as she kicked me out of the villa, so I replied. The moment her words sliced through the air, I felt my heart stop. Your place is in the trash, Dad. My daughter's finger pointed toward the gate of the luxurious villa, the very home I spent half my life building for her. And don't ever come back. She slammed the door. The deafening silence that followed was worse than the yell. Worse than the betrayal. Worse than the cold wind that wrapped around my frail body as I stood on the fancy marble porch, clutching a small bag of clothes, the only things she hadn't thrown into the garbage. My name is Rashid, a father, a widower, a man who loved too deeply, and expected loyalty in return. But life doesn't always give loyalty back. I walked slowly down the driveway, each step heavier than the last. I wasn't just tired, I was broken. My knees ached, my eyes stung with tears that refused to fall. Behind the gates, I could still hear the laughter, my daughter Maya and her wealthy husband celebrating their new beginning. Without me, it wasn't always this way. Once, she was a little girl who refused to sleep unless I held her hand. Once, she cried if I left for work without kissing her forehead. Once, I promised her mother, on her deathbed, that I would give Maya everything she needed to smile again. And I did. I worked overtime, sold my own parents' house, built my business from the ground up. Every brick of that villa was a piece of my sacrifice. But success came with a curse. I gave her too much. She forgot struggle. She forgot humility. She forgot me. With nowhere to go, I walked to the park nearby, the same place I used to bring Maya to when money was tight and happiness was cheap. I sat on a cold bench, hunger gnawing at my stomach. My coat wasn't warm enough for the night. My phone was dead. I had no cash. She even took my wallet. That's fine, I whispered to the wind. If this is what she believes I deserve, then maybe I failed her more than I realize. As darkness swallowed the sky, I closed my eyes and prayed. Not for food, not for shelter, not for revenge. I prayed for my daughter's heart. Morning sunlight woke me up with a cruel brightness. I was shivering, my body stiff. A street sweeper paused nearby, staring at me sympathetically. Uncle, you shouldn't be here. It's dangerous at night. I could only nod. Words hurt too much. He gave me a warm cup of tea, the kind of generosity I once taught my daughter to show. Funny how strangers remembered what she forgot. Days passed like seasons, cold, harsh, and lonely. I searched for work but employers laughed at an old man with no documents. I tried to eat once a day. I slept where I could, sometimes in a shelter, sometimes under a roof that leaked. Yet every night, I whispered the same prayer. Keep her safe. One rainy evening, while sheltering under a bridge, I heard a familiar voice, panicked and trembling. Daddy. I lifted my head. There she was, mascara running, clothes soaked, hands shaking. Maya. I struggled to stand. Her eyes darted around, terrified. He threw me out. He said I was useless now that he's divorcing me. The irony hit like thunder. She fell to her knees. I have no money, nowhere to go. I thought maybe you could help me. I looked at her, truly looked. Not at the spoiled woman she became, but at the scared child she once was. The moment I had feared all my life had arrived. Not that she had abandoned me, but that she would realize the value of love only when stripped of everything else. I placed my trembling hand on her shoulder. Maya, I said softly, that day you called me trash, do you know what hurt most? Her lips quivered. She couldn't speak. It wasn't the words. It was knowing I raised you with love, but forgot to teach you compassion. She sobbed into her palms. But you're here now, I continued. And as long as I breathe, you will never be alone. I forgive you. Her head shot up, disbelief flooding her eyes. You forgive me. After what I did, I smiled, not because I wasn't hurt, but because love is stronger than anger. A home is not built with money or marble, I whispered. It's built with hearts that refuse to give up on each other. We didn't go back to the villa. Instead, we started again in a small rented apartment. She found a job, not glamorous, but honest. And for the first time, she worked for her own future. Slowly, her heart changed. She apologized every day, not in words, but in actions. Warm meals, a hand to help me walk, a daughter determined to mend every crack she caused. One night, she hugged me tightly and whispered, "You gave me everything, Dad. And I threw you away. But you gave me back my humanity." I squeezed her hand gently. "I only gave back what your mother left inside you," I said. Love. Moral of the story. We often forget the value of those who sacrifice everything for us. But life has a way of teaching us, sometimes through loss, whom we should treasure. Never treat the hands that raised you like they are worthless. Because one day, those hands may no longer be there to hold you when you fall. Cherish your parents. They are your first home, and your truest love.